Imagine doing everything right in 2026, working full-time, earning a good salary, paying bills on time, and still feeling financially trapped. That tension is not personal failure. It shows up in actual numbers across millions of households. People are earning more than ever before, but their money is buying less every single year. That gap between income and real life cost is the hidden reason financial stress feels constant, even for responsible adults. Here is the uncomfortable reality. Over roughly the past decade, wages have increased around 30%, but essential expenses have risen much faster. Housing costs in many cities climbed 50 to 60%. Groceries are up roughly 40%. Insurance, childcare, and healthcare continue rising faster than overall inflation. When income grows slower than survival expenses, purchasing power quietly shrinks. That means even people who receive raises are falling behind without realizing it. Let us do the math using a realistic household earning $90,000 per year. After taxes and deductions, take-home income may land around $65,000. That's about $5,400 per month. Now subtract typical expenses: rent or mortgage $2,200, groceries $800, utilities $300, transportation $600, insurance $400, childcare $1,000. That already $5,300 before savings, investing, or any lifestyle spending. The margin in the budget is almost zero. And when margin disappears, stability disappears. A $900 car repair, a $1,000 medical bill, or a sudden travel expense instantly forces borrowing. People are not overspending, they are operating with no financial buffer. Survival has replaced progress. Housing is the biggest pressure point. Traditional advice suggested spending no more than 30% of income on housing. Today, many households spend 40% or more. When nearly half your income supports shelter alone, everything else becomes fragile. Saving slows, investing gets delayed. Long-term wealth building never fully begins. And that delay matters more than most people realize. Investing just $500 monthly at 8% annual return for 20 years could grow beyond $300,000. Delay those contributions by 5 years, and total growth drops dramatically. Lost time in the market is lost financial freedom later. This is why even six-figure earners often feel stuck. Income does not create freedom. Margin does. A household earning $120,000 with heavy fixed costs can be less secure than a household earning $80,000 with low obligations. Financial health is about flexibility, not status. Now enter debt, the system people rely on when margin disappears. Credit cards, personal loans, and installment plans are no longer emergency tools, they fund normal living. The average revolving credit card balance now sits above $7,000, often with interest rates over 20%. That means over $1,400 per year lost to interest alone. Buy now, pay later programs make borrowing feel harmless, but multiple small installments stack quickly. 10 purchases split into payments create 10 future obligations. Income becomes pre-assigned before it even arrives. Financial flexibility shrinks quietly. Student loans and auto loans extend the pattern. A $400 monthly student payment invested at 7% for 30 years could grow past $400,000. That's the opportunity cost of delayed investing. Meanwhile, long auto loan terms keep households paying for depreciating assets for years longer than necessary. When debt overlaps, stress rises. Mental energy gets consumed tracking balances, due dates, and interest. Financial strain becomes emotional strain. People feel stuck, not because they lack income, but because future earnings are already committed. And this leads to the most dangerous trend of all, disappearing savings. Many households have less than 1 month of expenses saved. Without a safety net, every disruption becomes a crisis. If this sounds familiar, you are not failing. The system is broken. But understanding the numbers is the first step to regaining control. Subscribe for calm, practical financial clarity, and let us rebuild margin in your budget together. Now let's talk about the savings crisis, because this is where financial pressure turns into long-term risk. Most experts recommend saving at least 15% of income for retirement. The typical worker saves closer to 6%. That difference may sound small, but over decades it completely changes financial outcomes. Let us do the math. Someone earning $80,000 who saves 15% invests $12,000 per year. At 7% growth for 30 years, that could exceed $1 million. Saving 6% instead produces less than half that amount. Same career, same income, completely different retirement reality. Emergency savings tell an even more serious story. Financial planners recommend 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. For a household spending $5,000 monthly, that means $15,000 to $30,000 saved. Yet many families hold under $2,000 total. One medical bill or job interruption wipes out everything instantly. Without savings, people rely on credit. Credit creates interest. Interest reduces future income. And the cycle repeats. Retirement accounts also show another hidden problem: low contribution defaults. Many workers are automatically enrolled, but often at 3% contribution rates. That sounds responsible, but it is rarely enough. A $70,000 salary at 3% saves only about $2,100 per year. Even with employer matching, long-term growth may still fall short of what retirement actually requires. And retirement is lasting longer. Living 20 to 25 years after leaving work is now common. If someone needs $60,000 per year to live, they may need $1.5 million saved. Most households approach retirement with far less. Healthcare costs make the situation even harder. A typical retired couple may spend $300,000 on medical expenses alone over their lifetime. Long-term care can cost over $100,000 per year. These are not rare scenarios. They are statistically normal outcomes. Low savings also change behavior long before retirement. When people lack financial reserves, they avoid risks. They stay in jobs they dislike. They decline career changes. They postpone education or business ideas. Limited savings limit opportunity, and limited opportunity limits income growth. Financial fragility becomes a lifelong constraint. Another overlooked factor is inflation. Keeping money in cash feels safe, but inflation slowly destroys purchasing power. At 3% annual inflation, money loses nearly half its value in 25 years. Without investing, savings shrink in real terms even if balances stay the same. Yet many people avoid investing because it feels complex or risky. The result is underinvested households working hard but growing wealth slowly. The difference between investing early and delaying just 10 years can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost compounding. So what actually works in this environment? Structure beats income. Automating savings ensures consistency. Reducing fixed expenses creates breathing room. Investing regularly allows time to work in your favor. Even cutting $500 monthly in recurring costs frees $6,000 per year. Invested for 30 years at 7%, that single adjustment could grow beyond $500,000. Real wealth is not built through dramatic moves. It grows through small, repeated structural decisions. The truth is simple. Most people are not irresponsible. They are navigating rising costs, slow wage growth, and systems that make stability harder than it used to be. You are not failing. The system is broken. But numbers give you power. When you understand them, you can design a strategy that works despite the environment. Focus on margin. Protect liquidity. Invest consistently. Let compounding quietly do the heavy lifting. If you want clear financial insight without hype, subscribe now. Let us build stress-free, affordable, real wealth, one rational decision at a time. By now, it is clear that income, debt, and low savings create a stressful cycle. But there is one final piece of the puzzle most people overlook: lifestyle inflation and hidden expenses. As incomes rise, spending rises too, often faster than paychecks. That extra money never translates into freedom. In fact, it reduces it. Take subscriptions, for example. The average household now pays for at least 5 digital services: streaming, cloud storage, apps, and software, totaling $300 per month. That $600 a year for convenience alone. Add premium internet, upgraded devices, and extra commuting costs, and suddenly your income feels smaller, even as it rises. Small, recurring costs quietly squeeze your budget over time. Now let's talk about transportation. Many professionals finance cars over 7 years at 7% interest to lower monthly payments. A 25,000 car financed this way ends up costing over $40,000. Combine that with insurance, gas, and maintenance, and transportation can take $2,000 per month. Vehicles depreciate, meaning you are paying high interest for an asset that is losing value. It's negative leverage. Money you earn goes to expenses that produce nothing. Even everyday habits add up. Eating out, daily coffee, convenience purchases, small amounts that seem harmless individually can total $400 per month. Over a year, that is $2,400 per month. Invested instead at 7% annual growth, it could exceed $100 over 30 years. Every minor choice compounds, and most people underestimate it. Housing upgrades and lifestyle choices have a similar effect. Moving to a slightly bigger apartment, upgrading furniture, or even switching utility plans can add $10 monthly. For someone already financially stretched, these small upgrades quietly eliminate margin in the budget and push households closer to borrowing when emergencies arise. The harsh reality is that financial stress often is about poor income or irresponsibility. It is about structure, margin, and awareness. You can earn more, but if expenses rise at the same rate, freedom does increase. Real wealth is about control, not status. Being proactive about reducing fixed costs, automating savings, and making informed investment decisions creates flexibility that income alone cannot provide. Here's a practical approach. First, track every expense for 1 month. Identify recurring costs, subscriptions, and optional spending. Next, cut or optimize even small items. The $500 saved monthly is far more powerful than a temporary raise because it compounds quietly. Then automate savings and investing so money works for you, not against you. Build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. Essential expenses to break the borrowing cycle. Finally, invest consistently over time. Even moderate contributions grow into substantial financial freedom if left to compound. The takeaway is simple. The system is broken, not you. You are not failing. Margins matter more than income, and compounding matters more than speed. Every small structural decision today sets the stage for stress-free wealth tomorrow. Focus on controllable numbers, automate where possible, and make financial growth predictable, not accidental. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more clear, practical guidance. Start small, focus on margin, and let your money work quietly for your freedom.